For a lot of people, there comes a stage in their life where living close to the city isn't as important to them. That's when many start considering a sea change or even a tree change. But there are many things to take into consideration before you make the big move. Today I'm with Glenn Gardiner from Fletchers Yarra Ranges. Now, Glenn, a lot of people still moving up with the idea of a tree change?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Des. Lots of people from the eastern corridor of Melbourne moving up looking for that fresh air, different environment, get away from the hustle and bustle, that sort of thing.
And obviously their money buys them a lot more when they come up here?
Oh, absolutely. The value you get up here, particularly if you're coming from anywhere near the inner east, is superb, what you'll get up here. You know, people get larger blocks, bigger gardens. Obviously, a lot of people are attracted to the views that we have, and yeah, great lifestyle, you know.
All right, Glenn, so what have people got to consider? They're selling up in town, they're moving out to the hills. What are the things they've got to take into account?
Well, I guess depending on whether they've got young families, older children or they're empty nesters, we're beautifully catered for with the primary schools. You never hear anybody say anything bad about the primary schools we have locally, and they're all basically within walk distance of most properties you'll buy here. Secondary schools a bit further away. I mean, you're up here for your lifestyle, not the convenience, I guess. There's bus services that run to obviously all of the public schools, and most of the big private schools run bus services also.
And do you get people out here who've moved out and then decide, well, it's not for me, and head back in?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, a bit of repeat business that way, so not all bad for us, I guess, Des. But yeah, no, look, some people get up, try it and find out that, you know, having the 7-Eleven around the corner and the ATM and everything, that they're used to is not there, and yeah, stick it out for a year or two and then decide they're going back to the inner city.
Is there a specific area on the mountain that the tree changers look at?
Oh, no, fairly general. I guess there's probably a couple of different types of people. We get people who come up for the views. They're getting harder to get, obviously, as you can imagine, but so they've got to go where the views are. You get the other people that are looking for the very ornamental and precious gardens that we have up here, and that's really their passion. And then you get the others that are a bit more alternate lifestyle, want to change the carbon footprint.
Grow their veggies.
Grow their vegetables, live among the gum trees, take advantage of all the bushwalking trails, that sort of, and bring their kids up in a different world.
So, Glenn, I guess wherever you are in Australia, if you're considering moving from the city and doing a tree change, Blue Mountains, wherever, you've got to have a bit of a checklist, don't you? You can't go in just with your eyes shut.
Oh, no, I think that's good advice. I think you'd always be looking at some of the more important things. Obviously, commute, if you've got to commute to work. So how do you get there? Which roads? What public services, public transport, etc., are available to you? Children's schooling, if you've got school-age children, is important. Primary schools are normally very well catered for locally in most places you go to. It's more the secondary education and then beyond that you've got to look at. So I guess you'd want to plan for those and make sure that that's an achievable thing in your life.
General amenities, I suppose.
General amenities, yeah. So again, sometimes depending where you go, supermarkets and things like that can be a bit further away. So it's a matter of doing your planning. You know, it's no good getting a phone call from the wife 3 minutes from home when you're 20 minutes past the supermarket to say, get me some butter. So you do your planning. I think most people do that, work that out, and do that pretty well, though.
Scott Allison's also from Fletchers Yarra Ranges. Now, you've done your checklist, you've decided to come out and see what your money could buy with an average house in Melbourne once you've sold it. Would this be typical, this property?
Well, this one's quite special being an Art Deco home, but the grounds are quite typical where we get lots of colour and a beautiful garden.
How big is it?
This one's 2/3 of an acre.
Wow. And you really, if you've come from a small block in town, this is going to blow your mind when the kids start running around out here.
Very much. A great spot here for the kids or to entertain and have a barbecue and a lot of friends over.
There's a lot of old world charm about these, aren't there? A lot of the places up here, like, I mean, we've got, love seats made out of rock. We've got all these sort of the built-in barbecues. It does have a sort of special feel, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The Dandenong Ranges have a very eclectic mix of homes, and there's a lot of old world homes, and it was a very popular area, particularly in that 1930s as a tourist destination.
Is it different to what it is in town, do you think?
It is. Look, you go to the cafes and people know your name. And that gets nice when you go to the restaurants and you just know everybody.
Unless it's, Scott, have you got that 20 you owe me? That sort of stuff.
Well, that happens too.
That happens too. All right, and a lot of people coming out, are you finding that, is it satisfying, I guess, when you meet someone who they've bought their house out here 6 months ago and they say it's the best thing we've ever done?
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a lot of people that will just stay upgrade and downgrade as they go through, but they'll come here and decide this is the life for them.
And we've got this beautiful Art Deco place here. It looks, from the outside, doesn't look like it's had much done, but fantastic inside. And would this be typical of a lot of the blocks out here?
Typical, yeah.
Yeah. What are we talking here?
2/3 of an acre, lots of rhododendrons, lots of colour in the garden, which I think you'll catch.
Price-wise?
800. around the
800,000?
Yeah.
And would that be typical for something of this size out here? Or do we have a bit more of a range?
Well, you've certainly got a range. This size of home could range from anything from 6 to 9, depending on its features and its location.
And when you consider a lot of people, the median price property in a lot of the capital cities now nudging 600, 700,000, that's pretty good to be able to get this sort of land and this sort of building for that money.
Yeah, we feel we're still like that hidden secret that people haven't quite discovered as yet, and therefore offer great value.
Hidden secret, you know the camera's on. So, you know we turn it on for this bit.
We're happy to share.
Well, there you have it. If you're thinking of making a tree change, there's some good food for thought there. And if it's out in the Yarra Ranges you're looking, make sure you drop in and see the team at Fletchers Real Estate.